All right, so we're live. Paul was on, and I just lost him. How's everybody out there doing tonight? I'm guessing Paul will connect back in here in a minute. All right, so we're live. Cheers, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Let me know what you got out there. I am going to be drinking Evan Williams Single Barrel. I'm going to kill this bottle. And I think Paul's coming back in.
Here I am.
There you go, Paul. You got disconnected. All right, everybody. We got Paul with us tonight. He's streaming in from Arizona.
Hey, guys.
Yes, Black Hat guy. Black Hat tonight. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy, right?
Yeah,
wear the black hat. So I'm Paul. I'm going to drink my Evan Williams. I'm going to finish off this single barrel.
All right.
Evan Williams.
So hey, Renee. So I brought some samples with me since I want to have something here. So I'm starting off with From Good Times, Double Oak.
And I am having this in my new Whiskey Sippers blend.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, so we have our own blends now. They're out in our store. Yep. If anybody wants to buy one.
Hey, Patrick.
If you're local and you just want to pick one up, just contact me, and you can always come pick one up. For those people who aren't local, if you would like a Whiskey Sippers blend, you can go to the store attached to our YouTube channel.
Well, I'm not local now, but I'll be local after this weekend.
Mm-hmm. What's our drinking tonight? Hello, WV Bourbon Guy. Cheers, Eric. Thank you for the samples. Eric brought some samples to me last week. He brought the Nulu Creme Brulee that Renee had wanted to try. So that was very nice of him. So, Paul, how's the bourbon hunting out there in Phoenix? I've never been to Arizona. I'm not Phoenix. I haven't been to Arizona at all. So I'm not used to their bourbon market.
Yeah, Phoenix is not state controlled, but their stores are very reasonable and very close to MSRP. So I've gone to at least 2 liquor stores. Went out to Scottsdale on my first night and went to a place called the Liquor Vault. While I was there, on the shelf by itself, Eagle Rare at MSRP.
Well, that's good. That's nice to see it at MSRP outside of Ohio.
Exactly. And then they had some samples because they also happen to have a store pick of Wild Turkey's Kentucky Spirit.
Okay.
That's coming in from Warehouse E, not CNE. So it's not a Camp Nelson, but the sample I had, very delicious. And then finally,
Brad said, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, the last bottle I picked up, Redwood Empire, it's Pipe Dream Cast Strength.
That's my favorite Redwood Empire. That's my favorite one.
Yep. All of these at MSRP.
Brad said he's drinking an H. Taylor small batch since someone got him another one.
Awesome.
Trying to see what else people were drinking. Eric is drinking Cedar Ridge, a port finished rye.
Good.
Patrick is going to have some 1792 bottled in bond.
Saw some here, including full proof.
Yeah, I got him one. I think he's mentioning that because I got him one for his birthday. That's what I gave him, the 1792 bottled in bond.
Nice.
And
I also picked up some
cheers,
minis.
Gandy.
So I picked up some minis while I was out here too. So with minis, I got myself a Still Austin bourbon.
All right.
A Jack Daniel's single barrel, not barrel proof, but the single barrel.
Yeah, the single barrel select.
Yep. Elijah Craig small batch. And the one I think is the coolest one of all, a Slam Dunk Maker's Mark.
That's pretty neat to see a Slam Dunk mini. Yeah, Brad said Patrick had the BBD. He did have the BBD, but he took all the BBD. So he doesn't have any more to take tonight. He already took it all. David said he's drinking an Elijah Craig lineup.
Oh, cool.
Is it the batch, the barrel proofs, different batches, David? Or is it like private barrels or?
Now I've seen some Elijah Craig barrel proofs here. They still have B524 on the shelves.
Yeah, so they're like a year behind over there still. Or they just had so much of it and it didn't sell out.
I think it was just so much.
ThatBourbonGuy said he's cooking dinner, but we'll be sipping on a hand delivery of Larceny C923. There you go. That was a good batch.
All right. Nice.
So, Paul, did you hear the information about Green River this week?
No. Tell me about it.
So they're laying off like 30%. I think it was 30% of their staff. So that was big. That was kind of surprising, like out of nowhere. I really didn't expect that. So I don't know exactly what's going on. They're saying that, the bourbon bubble is bursting and all that. But I mean, I don't see the prices going down. So I don't know if the bourbon bubble is bursting, and the hard to find bottles are still hard to find.
So you think it's just oversaturation?
So that's what I think. So they are, they do contract distilling there, right? They do a lot of contract distilling. They're owned by Bardstown. Bardstown does a lot of contract distilling. And I think there was just such an oversaturation of new brands hitting the market, and they were probably doing a lot of them were contract distilled, and there's just so many brands they can't all make it, right? Some of them are going to have to fall by the wayside, and I think that's where maybe the bourbon market's getting hit, or some of these like new brands that sprung up. I just don't think it can sustain that many brands.
We'll see. All right, so we'll see some of the craft brands.
I think so. I think you're going to see some of them probably like go under, unless they get, the brand name gets bought out by a bigger distillery or something, maybe. But I don't know. Yeah, it is sad to see 30% of their staff go. Cheers, Gandy. Cheers, Brian.
Yeah. Cheers.
So it's always that you never want to see anybody get laid off, but what can you do?
I mean, what wasn't that about the same percentage? Did their layoffs?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's about 30%.
Yeah, Old Forester. But I think a greater portion of Old Foresters was from from their making barrels, right? Because they shut down like their barrel house or whatever. Right. The cooperage, yeah. Whereas Green River, they weren't making their own barrels. This is going to be more actual like distiller staff, I would assume. Cheers, John. Brad said Bourbon Doge. I guess so. They're going to cut the weight.
Nice.
Elon get a hold of the staff listing at Green River. I don't know. So, how's the weather out there, Paul? We finally have a nice day here in Ohio. It was sunny and 70 today. So
That's fabulous. Now, when I got here on Monday, for the first 2 days, I had sunny weather, 85 degrees. Perfect. But
that's
then
nice.
rain
Yeah.
came in, and now today it's cloudy, somewhere between 65 and 69 degrees. So I would say I was having a better day than I am.
That's actually strange to hear. You would think it'd just be nice and sunny out there all the time, but like I said, I've never been out to Arizona.
Right. But I think right now you may be getting better on the high temperatures, but you're still going to get very cold night. Here it's probably
Yeah.
only going to drop down to about the upper 40s.
I think that's about what it was here. Maybe it was in the 40s. I think last
Okay.
night, maybe it wasn't that
Yeah.
cold. I know this
And
morning
it's
when I left, it wasn't cold.
yeah. So Patrick, yes, it does rain in Arizona. It doesn't do often. They do have a monsoon rate season where it can rain for a couple months on end. Other times there's no rain at all.
Cheers, Trevor.
Hey, Trevor.
Yeah. So, Paul, there was that big drop here in Ohio last week of Buffalo Trace stuff, and we had talked about it
Yeah.
on the live last week. And I ended up getting quite a few good bottles, but it wasn't really the stuff I was looking for. But, I've learned always when you can get those bottles at MSRP, you do, because, you can use them for trade or, something like that, right?
Right.
So since the live last week, I actually was able to make a few trades.
What'd you get?
I managed to take the stuff that I picked up in the drop and I turned it into a Weller single barrel.
Nice.
Which I have one that's unopened. I have the unopened rainbow, and now I'm going to be able to open it and have the opened rainbow. So I'll have all the Wellers.
Perfect.
I'll be able to do a video, blinding the rainbow.
All right.
Then I went out and I was able to trade for Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. 132
awesome.
proof, 132.46. So got the Coy Hill. And then today I managed to arrange a trade with the rest of the bottles, not all of them, but a good number of the bottles from that pickup. I had about out of pocket about $180 worth of bottles that I had bought at that drop. And I turned it into a Jack Daniel's 14.
Wow. That's killer. That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was a good set of trading from that Buffalo Trace drop here in Ohio. It worked out well on my end. It got me bottles that I really, really wanted, with bottles that, I already had, like the CYPB I had, the Rock Hill Farms already had. So I was able to turn them into the bottles I needed.
Nice. Well, I did pretty well from that, even though I couldn't get to the bottle drop. I had bowling that night, so I couldn't get in line. But I was able to, through other means, get myself a Jack Daniel's 10-year and a Jack Daniel's 14-year. So that's being shipped out to me, and I should be getting that next week.
Thank you, David. Yes, I finally got the Coy Hill. I was so happy. And then when I ended up being able to get the 14 on top of that, I was just like, this is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, it worked out great. I'm so glad they had that drop last Tuesday, and I was able to get several Weller 12s and some CYPBs.
That's going to be fun to open.
Oh, it's going to be a great time. Yeah, got the Jack 14. With some really good trades. Yeah, a little bit of a flex, Trevor, but it's celebration, really. It's a celebration because I'm not going to just let them sit. They're going to get open. They're going to get drank. So,
yep,
for sure. I gotta try that Jack 14 after how much I love the Jack 12, and it's going to be barrel proof, 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be like this year's version of the Russell's 15. I can't imagine I can't imagine it's not great. And
Right.
I know other people have had videos, but I purposely avoided hearing what anybody else has to say about it because I don't want to, my mind kind of like, oh, this is what so-and-so thinks. I don't want to be thinking about that. So I've avoided all the review videos that have been out there.
You know what you should do after you sample the 14 is then do a blind comparison against the Russell's 15. See which is
Oh
better.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely plan to. That major channel announcement is I'm raffling them both off. No. I'm just waiting for a little more people to show up before I make an announcement.
Sorry, Brad, you're not
So
getting it.
we'll get a little bit here later in the stream. I'm going to make the announcement. Let's see what Patrick
Right,
say.
yeah.
Go have to set aside a few samples of the 14 for the end of the year tournament. Well, it better not be down to a couple of samples by the end of the year. Unless I get a second one.
Right. David, thanks for the comment. I'm looking forward to getting my 14.
Donald said the 14 dropped at the distillery. Does anyone know of any other states that it's dropping in?
Yeah, I
Specifically
have.
asking if it's dropped in South Carolina. I don't know about South Carolina, but I can tell you for 100% it's dropped in New York.
Exactly. It's over in New York. I've heard that too.
Yeah, so I know it's dropped there, and I think it has dropped other places, I'm sure, but I know New York for sure. And when it drops in Ohio, it might not be till next year. I mean, Coy Hill just dropped last week here in Ohio, and it came out, last spring or whatever.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah, like
Trevor,
Trevor,
right. Next year.
it's exactly
Next
what I'm
year.
saying. We won't see it till next year in Ohio. That's the way that works around here. Well, at least we get it
That's
at
true.
SRP, though, right? So
Right, you just got to be patient.
yeah, absolutely. This week we didn't have much dropping. I know you've been gone all week, but it's been like E.H. Taylor and Weller Antique. That's what's been dropping this week.
Cool.
So it's kind of like one of the normal drop weeks that we get around here.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what's out there. So another place I stopped at here in Phoenix is a little place called the Phoenix City Grill. They have probably the largest
Cheers, Scott.
bourbon bar ever. Great selections, good prices on the pours, and decent food as well.
So what were the prices like out there for a pour at a bar?
I'm trying to remember because I've had what did I have? Well, okay, my friend of mine had a Knob Creek 12 year. And that was about 15 for a pour, which wasn't bad.
I don't know what the Knob Creek 12 is around here, honestly.
Yeah, well, it's probably 15 to 20, something like that.
Trevor, yeah,
So,
I'm guessing it'll be lottery as well. Although I thought that for the Russell's 15, and the Russell's 15 wasn't a lottery last year. It was just a special drop. So the 14
right.
could end up being like that. Which I would prefer that to lottery because then I'll have a chance of getting one if it's a drop. If it's a lottery, then
Yep.
I never have any luck winning something like that. So I guess I'll go ahead and make the announcement. So I have been talking to some people, and this week I managed to have a meeting yesterday, and I did find a retailer finally who would work with me. So
Cool.
I have a retailer lined up, and today I was talking with a distillery, and I set up the next barrel pick for the channel.
Where are we going?
So let me share my screen here. Tell me if you can see that. Did the image pop up? I
Oh,
can't. I'm looking at that screen
yeah,
now.
I see it. I see it. Hard truth.
So we will be doing a barrel pick of Hard Truth Sweet Match Rye. It'll be the barrel
Nice.
proof Hard Truth Rye. So this bottle, but a single barrel, a barrel proof.
That should be
So
good.
we are lined up. I've already got it set. The pick will be on April 11th at 2 p.m. So that's a Friday. They don't do it. Nobody does picks on the weekend really, but
Right.
so Friday, April 11th will be the pick. And we will be doing like we did before, like we always do. We are going to do like a giveaway, whatever, to pick our barrel pick team. So we can take 8 people total. We have 3 slots taken up, and so we have 5 spots open. The first 4 spots are going to go to Patreon members. So I'm going to do it like I did last time with a little bit of a change. Whatever tier you're in, that's how many entries you're going to get to be picked to go on the barrel pick. And if you entered for the last barrel pick and you did not get selected, you get an extra entry.
Nice.
So kind of like Buffalo Trace does with their Sazerac barrels, where you just keep getting more and more entries until you finally get picked. But once you get picked, it's going to go back down. You go back down to 1 entry and have to work your way back up. So if you got picked before, you're down to 1 entry. But the people who didn't get picked, you'll have your tier plus growing entries until you do get picked.
That's fair.
Scott, what happened to the Blue Note pick? I was thinking about Blue Note. I've been going back and forth, but I settled on Hard Truth. I preferred to do Hard Truth for this first pick with a new retailer. So we're going to have 4 Patreons that we draw. We will draw a 5th Patreon as an alternate in case somebody can't make it. And then the last spot, I'm going to do a giveaway for people who submit super chats between now and when we draw. So you're going to have 4 people straight from Patreon and 1 from just the general audience. If you're not a Patreon, in the paid Patreon tier, you could have a chance by sending through super chats. And we're going to draw those. My little calendar here. So on March 28th, we will draw, or March 27th, Thursday, in 2 weeks, we're going to draw the Patreon winners. So I'll be putting up a post on the Patreon tonight. If you're interested and you think you can make that barrel pick on the 11th, you put your name in the hat and you'll be put into the drawing. So, and then for the super chat, whoever's going to fill in for the super chat, it'll be on the 4th. So if you're interested in being on the barrel pick, you can either join the Patreon between now and the next 2 weeks, or you can send super chats.
All right. Let's see who's going to be the first super chat.
So we're going to go down there, and I've been talking to the distillery. I'm trying to set it up so Hard Truth's really beautiful grounds. They got a lot of land and stuff they do. I'm trying to give them to give us all like free ATV tours. Just take us on a tour of like their outside grounds and stuff.
I heard that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a great experience. I like Hard Truth. That's why I picked them. I thought it would be a really good first pick, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great experience.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to pour some now.
Right. So if you're going to pour, it means I need to have another pour. So I have options, and I'll give you the options and let the crowd decide. So I happen to have Old Fitzgerald 11-year, Jack Daniel's 10-year, or Russell's Reserve 15-year.
You got to do the Russell's Reserve. You got to pick. You got to pick Russell's. What does everybody out there say?
Yeah, let's see what they want to say.
Old Fitz 11, Russell's 15. What was the other?
The other is JD 10, Jack Daniels 10.
Jack Daniels 10. So what do you think, guys? Which one should he drink? Yeah, Eric.
It's a full 2-ounce sample.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hard Truth too. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. What do you think, Devin?
Pretty good.
Yeah, see, Devin likes it too.
Can't argue that. All right, I see Trevor wants me to have the Russells. Patrick wants me to go Old Fitz.
John says Old Fitz.
Yeah. If having more than one, start with Jack.
Well, that's a good point. Start with your lower proof, huh?
That's right. Jack 10 is lower.
Yeah. Always jealous of
Always jealous of Old Fitz. Yeah. All right, let me start with Jack.
So hopefully everyone out there who's watching is excited about us doing a Hard Truth pick. Now it will be, because like I said, I found a retailer. It'll be available to buy online, so it won't have to be a local thing. Anybody will be able to order it. When we do sell it, the bottles, we will go through the Patreon first, starting at the top tier and kind of working our way down. Each tier will get a couple hours to make their order. When we get down the free tier, they'll go, and then it'll be released to the general public. So
cool. Oh, I have to tell you a funny story about what I had to go through here in Phoenix.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So
go ahead. Yeah.
Got my rental car, spent a day out in Scottsdale, got back to the hotel. Next morning, it was stolen. So overnight, somebody took a Jeep. I still have the car keys, and it was stolen. Filed a police report. They called me the next day, and they found it 25 miles away, but it was in fine condition. It wasn't damaged. Nobody ran into anything. It wasn't stripped for parts. So it got put to a tow yard, and I'm getting the rental agency to go retrieve it, but they can keep it after that.
That's a nice pour. I'm guessing they tracked it by GPS, but it sounds like it was more of a joyride than anything. If they just took it and it wasn't stripped.
It seemed like it was. No, I think it is a joyride, and yeah, I do think with today's cars that have all these satellite navigations, they're going to use the GPS on the car to track it down.
Brad said he'll come even if he's not selected for the pick.
There you go.
Yeah, it's actually a nice area down there. I mean, I've been down there before. We visited Hard Truth. That's how I found it. Is we stopped to visit. I had never had it before, and we stopped to visit the distillery, and I did like a tasting there, and I liked what they had, and we just kind of went and checked around, and it was a beautiful place. Yeah. So I was always like, I'd like to do a pick here, and now I am. So it makes me happy.
But David, it wasn't a Kia, it was a Jeep. It was a Wrangler Willys edition. So Scott, you wanted to know about the American Light whiskey.
Oop, wrong one. The American Light whiskey. I haven't opened up the 17-year yet, but I tried the 15-year from last year, and it was really good. So I expect the 17-year is going to be great. I just haven't opened mine yet. But I like American Light whiskey. I like the Kings that I got. Now, I know all of the older American Light whiskey all comes from MGP. I mean, it's all MGP stuff. They're the ones who really had it,
Right.
distilled it back in the 2000s or whatever, and people are buying the barrels from. I don't know of any other distiller that does American light whiskey that has that much age on it. So that's my take on the American light whiskey. I like it, and I know Evernorth bought barrels of MGP American light whiskey, and that's somewhere else I'm thinking about in the future, maybe doing a pick of American light whiskey there. So depending how things turn
Fun
out,
trip up into Michigan.
yeah. So depending how things turn out with the picks, the people I've talked to, as long as these sell, we're going to do like 2 or 3 barrels. We're going to see if everything sells well. If it all sells out, then they're going to open up some of their connections to maybe get into distilleries that I can't get in myself. So hopefully,
That
these
helps. That's
barrels sell well, and then we can use kind of their contacts to maybe get something a little more like an Old Forester Black Label type thing, something like that. So
fun. Nice.
So see how it goes. I've got high hopes.
Right. Good.
But I do like that sweet mash rye is good. So this is the standard bottle, 116 proof. I know the single barrel is going to be higher, but should be anyway. I think they're usually around 120.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, see, Scott actually had been up to Evernorth, so he enjoyed his time up there.
Brad, that's actually how I got in touch with the distillery. That's the person at the distillery I got in touch with, was that Post-it note you sent me. For the retailer, I tracked some people down that I had ordered bottles from before, and managed to kind of get in touch with them and have some meetings. So that's what was really holding me up, was finding a retailer who could take it in, warehouse it, and ship. They ship everywhere but like 2 states that don't allow it. So finding the retailer was really the hardest part. Trying to find somebody who's able to warehouse and ship.
Yep.
Scott said the Penelope 10-year estate collection single barrel is out.
Okay. 10-year estate.
I think I had one of the estates last year. I don't remember if it was a 10-year or what it was. I mean, it was okay. I'm just not a huge Penelope fan, except for the light whiskey is really the only thing I really like. I guess the Rio is a nice little pour too, but the regular bourbon I don't care much for. Keith says the 17-year light whiskey is amazing. The nose is cake and vanilla bean. The 17-year light whiskey I have from King's is fantastic, so it doesn't surprise me that the Penelope's good. I'm just waiting to have people over to open it. So I don't want to open it by myself. I don't like to open really good bottles by myself. I like to share them. So I'm waiting till next time we have a get together. David said Brad should never be in public, if we're being honest. Scott says there's not one Penelope he's loved yet. The light whiskey and the Rio, those are the only 2 I've had I've really liked. I've tried the others, like the what's that? The
Toasted?
The toasted, the Takajomi or whatever the one Hungarian wood one is. Architect, 4 grain. I mean, I've tried pretty much all of them. I just don't really care for them that much. The 9-year was okay. The estate collection, I don't remember what year it was, the estate collection I had, but it was just okay. None of them have really blown me away.
Yeah, but Renee keeps trying them.
Yeah, she keeps hoping she's going to find one she likes, so we keep buying them. She liked the Havana, though. You like the Havana, Renee, which I didn't really care for.
Yeah, that's got cinnamon in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's the rum finish.
Or no, excuse me, that was maple. That had maple in it. I remember that now.
No, it's molasses. It tastes like molasses. It's really sweet. It tastes like molasses.
Gotcha.
I don't know if Brian's still on, but Cast 529 is also doing a barrel pick. They're doing one at the end of May. They're doing Wilderness Trail bourbon pick. And I'm a member of their Patreon, and they do a lot like, we do here, where they give away their spots to their Patreons. And I end up winning one of the spots. So I'm going to be going on Cast 529's barrel pick as well.
Nice. Congrats.
John says Havana is maple and rum. I just got a whole bunch of molasses. To me, it was just like, it was more rum than bourbon. It was like really rum heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't particularly love rum. So to me,
rum is easy to overpower. Rum is easy to overpower a bourbon. Take a look at Angel's Envy. Their rye finished in a rum cask tastes more rum than rye.
Yeah, I'm not a huge rum finish fan. I don't like Angel's Envy, like you said. Other rum finishes I've had, I haven't loved. Same with tequila. I haven't been a fan of I think the only maybe one tequila finished I've had has been the Jack Daniel Distillery series that was finished in tequila barrels, and I didn't care for it.
Speaking of tequila, I saw there was that label from Jim Beam about the new Booker's Reserves.
Booker's Reserves. Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen that, Booker's Reserves 2025 has been announced, and it is going to be finished in tequila barrels. And I'm disappointed.
I'm not sure.
I really like the 2024 one. I just don't think I'm going to like it in tequila barrels.
I would need a sample pour of that first before I would commit.
That was Patrick, Brad. That's Patrick. He took all the BBD with him. He took all the BBD. So, when do you fly home, Paul?
Flying home Saturday. It's a 3:00 flight here, but I don't land in Cleveland until about 11 p.m.
Okay. Well, you'll be a late night that night then.
Long night.
Yeah.
Although early night, because I'm now getting used to the 3-hour time zone difference here in Phoenix.
Yeah, you have that jet lag. I know every time I've flown out to Vegas, like I'll leave here in the morning and I arrive in Vegas like in the morning because of the time difference. I always feel like I'm get that jet lag. Yeah, kind of. You feel like, oh my God, I'm exhausted.
I know. When I flew out, it was a 7:20 a.m. flight out of Cleveland. Landed at 9:00. But it's still a 4-hour flight, no matter what you do.
Right. And then you lose it on the way back, so it's a lot later than when you left. And it just feels weird to leave at noon and arrive, and it's nighttime. It's like, how long have I been in the air? It just feels like all day.
Well, I'm trying to do it. Fortunately, I'm out here for work. So being our corporate headquarters is based in Pittsburgh, I still have to work East Coast hours, even though I'm out here in Phoenix. Now it means out here, it means I got to be at the office at somewhere between 4 or 5 a.m. But then I'm done by 2 p.m.
Oof. That's rough. How's the Infinity Barrel? So last I have some samples from before Devin left. And I'll be giving those away over the next few months. But when Devin comes back, he's coming back when his baby's born. I'm going to have him pour some more samples. And we've got some more bottles to dump into it before he leaves again. So last I had, it actually was pretty decent. Considering everything that's been put in it. It was around 101 proof, and it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. And we got our proof up by putting the benchmark full, and then with some early times bottles, I think it kind of helped with get a little like age in there. So it was pretty good. I'm thinking after it sits for that amount of time in that Jack Daniel's barrel, it's going to get better and better because it's kind of like double oaking it.
Right. I got a couple more
So I think it's
single
going to be
barrels
good.
I can add to it. Yeah, I got some more higher proof bottles I can add to the mix.
Yeah, it's away in
Brad saying
Devin's
it's locked
dungeon
away
right now. Yeah, it's locked up in his basement right now. I do have some bottles I need to get over there to get dumped in it, though. The latest spreadsheet for what's been put in there is up on the Patreon. Speaking of the Patreon, I found this neat little thing here on Restream. If you're not a member, there's a QR code you can scan. It'll take you to our Patreon.
Cool.
So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon to get a chance to be in the barrel pick, there you go.
Join now.
We also have a Discord. I don't have the fresh link for that one, though. We have a Discord that we have up and running that people contribute to. And need to roll it outside the barrel. There's no way we would be able to get that up the stairs. It just is not going to happen. It's way too heavy. Way too heavy to try to get up the stairs from down in the basement.
I can say I've at least seen it. I know it exists. It's not something fake. It's no AI thing.
Yeah, we have the videos of it. Yeah, we did. And we have sent out some samples. I don't know if Brian's still on, but if he is, I don't know if he ever tried the sample we gave him when we were down in Kentucky. But yeah, so that's the stuff that's going on here with us, Paul. We got a barrel pick they're going to be setting up. We got the new Glens in, and just looking forward to April. Going to do barrel pick in April. Then, we're planning to travel. My wife and I are planning to go down to Jack Daniel's towards the end of April, and I always love going down there to visit. So we'll be doing a couple of trips in April. I'll be able to get some videos on the road. And
good.
Then towards the end of May, we'll be going to the barrel pick with Cast 529.
Awesome.
What is that noise?
I think someone tripped the fire alarm here at the hotel.
Fire alarm? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Let me take a quick peek at it, see what's going on.
All right. Scott says your two go-to pours are New Riff Balboa Rye and the B524.
All right, so the fire alarm is going off here in the hotel. I'm probably going to have to, so I may have to drop early on the call here.
Yeah, you want to make sure you don't get caught on fire if it's real.
Yeah, all right. So,
all right,
that's
Paul,
me.
thanks for joining us.
That bourbon guy from Arizona. I'll see you later.
See you, Paul. All right, guys. But yeah, so Scott, your go-to pours are New Riff Balboa Rye and the Elijah Craig B524. The Balboa Rye is a really nice rye. I think it doesn't really get the credit it deserves. I don't think it ever did. The first batch earlier batch from 2020, I think 3 was the time they made it before, was really good as well. So I just think it's fantastic. And Scott's you're looking forward to the B525 too. I don't think that, to me, the B series generally aren't the good ones from Elijah Craig, but I don't know. I like the C series. They usually tend to be a little bit higher proof, a little older, but to each his own. I mean, no Elijah Craig's bad. I mean, they're all good. It's just some are better than the others, but none of them are bad. I just happen to have enough of them. I don't really run out to buy them all. unless someone tells me, hey, this one's really good, you need to try it. Yes, that's a true story. We were in a hotel in Columbus and the fire alarm was going off, and I did refuse to get up and leave. So that's true. Oh, Paul just sent me a message that he's back.
All right, the alarm's done.
Put out the fire, Paul?
I put it out. I mean, I only got a little bit of bourbon left, but it's put out.
Well, if you threw the bourbon on it,
Yeah, no,
that's a
it
waste
made
of
it
bourbon.
worse.
I'd rather go outside and
there-
drink and let the hotel burn down.
Yeah, no, there's a thunderstorm coming through right now with some high winds, and I think it just tripped something, so they shut it down. It's all good.
Yeah, see, Trevor, I agree. If I don't smell smoke, if it's I don't know stuff's burning down, I'm not worried about that alarm.
Look, no, I got to
Yeah, give
keep
me a
everything
reason
that
to
I
leave.
got here. I got to keep all my bourbon safe.
The thing is, some of that's high enough proof. If you throw it on the fire, you're just going to make it worse, Paul.
All right, fine. I'll use the water.
Yeah. Save the bourbon, throw out the water. So, but so when you get back, is our bourbon meet next weekend? I don't remember.
Yeah, it is. It's next Saturday, and I think Jim's
Saturday?
hosting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So next Saturday, we're going to have our bourbon group meet up, and we have to take a sample of something between 95 and 110 proof. That's kind of what our blind is going to be.
And it's not a single barrel.
Yeah, not a single barrel. So a bourbon that's not between 95 and 110 proof, that's not a single barrel. So I need people to message me suggestions of what I should take because I can't decide. So if you got watching this and you got a suggestion,
no, that's cheating. Come on.
No, what are you talking about? That's not cheating. just suggestions.
Okay.
I just became a Patreon. Pick me for the Hard Truth Barrel Pick. Well, thank you for joining, and you will absolutely be able to go into the drawing. I'm going to make a thread tonight. Yep. Welcome. Thank you so much. And I will be making a thread tonight on the Patreon for people to come in and put their yes, I'm in posts, because I'm only going to obviously pick from people who say they can make it. You know, if you then you can't make it, then don't join. But if you can, put your name in and get in on that drawing. And welcome to the family.
Yeah. Cheers to you, man.
That's actually not a bad pick. That's not a bad
Cooper's
suggestion.
Is good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good suggestion, and that fits into the category. Yeah, for sure.
It does. Solid. Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and decide what I want to take, what I want to bring.
Well, to be honest, one of the ones I was considering was that Jack Daniel's 10 that I just had. I'm not bringing it.
No, didn't like it.
Which batch was it? That was batch 2.
Batch 2 is not as good as batch 3. Yeah, batch 2 was not
batch 3. Yeah.
Batch 2 was a little over oak to me on the Jack 10.
I'll have to go back into my whiskey warehouse, pick something else.
Yeah, you got plenty to pick from.
I have a few.
Yeah, you have a couple. You're the only one I know. I think it's got more than me.
Although I've cut it back down thanks to the barrel.
Hmm. I think you're still well over 500, right?
Yeah, I'm still in the low 600s right now.
Yeah, so you still got me beat.
But we'll crack more. Well, I'll still crack more open. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm debating on what to bring. I got a couple of things in mind. I got a couple of ryes that fall into that category that I think would be very nice. So we'll see. But our urban club meetings are always fun. It's always fun to get together and everybody brings a different sample and just kind of blind them and see what wins. Last month we did ryes, and we had what, 3 or 4 people bring Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye.
I was one of them.
Yeah, we had like 4 people bring the single barrel proof ryes from Jack Daniel's. They're just so good. And 3 of them placed in the top 4. So the only thing that was in the top 4 that wasn't a Jack Daniel's was my Old Forester single barrel proof rye. David says, my count is up to about 170, and most of my family and friends say I got a problem. That's like how many bottles I have.
No, it's a hobby.
Yeah, I have more bottles than that open. I have like 190 open bottles.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby. It's not a problem.
All right. The only time's a problem is if you drinking problem is if you can't drink. You know, you pick it up and you're spilling it on yourself. That's the problem.
Yeah, that was the vendor dinner I was at last night. I had one of the vendors that was sitting next to me found out I like bourbon, so was kind of challenging me for different pours and everything else. So I was selecting all the pours for him. He couldn't handle it. So after we were done with dinner, he was basically stumbling into the Uber ride.
That sounds like Brad.
We got to the next location.
That sounds like Brad.
We got to the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We got to the rooftop bar, but when we got out, the other vendors immediately put him back in the Uber ride to go back to the hotel.
Nah, he's had enough. They cut him off.
They cut him off.
That was that night after the barrel pick when Brad came back to the hotel. I brought out that whole box of sample bottles and we went through them. See, yeah, I told on you, Brad. He said you hate to quote Bruegel, you have a selection, not a collection. You know, I don't look at it that way. I mean, I got a collection. Just because I drink it doesn't mean it's not a collection. I mean, people collect like fancy cars, but they still drive them, right? I mean, I used to collect comic books. I used to collect comic books, but I would read them. I mean, I would still use them just because I have a whole bunch of them. It doesn't mean I don't use them. So I still say collection, and I've got tons and tons of open bottles. So, and the ones I don't have open are mainly because they're backups of the ones that are open.
Use them for what they're made for. So in bourbon, they're made for drinking.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the word collection. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Because
I know I'm drinking them. So.
Yep.
Well,
all
Paul,
right, I'm up for the next 4.
What you got?
So it's either going to be Russell's or Old Fitz.
Why don't you do your Old Fitz? They were calling for Old Fitz earlier.
All right, I'll do Old Fitz. So it's an 11-year, which was, I believe, a winter release or fall release, 2022, I think.
Yeah, my water bottles. I have more empty Weller Antique water bottles than most people ever have, like even open of Weller Antique.
Yeah, your
In fact, I
water
just killed one.
bottles I know influenced Patrick to start doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, I actually got it from Jason. Jason had a whole bunch of High West bottles that he used for it. And I thought it was a great idea. So I started using my Weller bottles when I finished them. In fact, I just killed a 107 over the weekend. I got it up there ready to turn into a new water bottle.
Nice.
So if you're going to have old Fitz, I'm going to have an old Fitz with you.
There you go. Oh,
Some would do
you got
the VVS. Yeah,
yes.
the VVS 13 year.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is so good. So that is a fantastic bottle. My wife got it for me for Christmas.
Yep. Nice.
It is.
I actually
so
have a
good.
9-year coming my way now. So I'm going to now
You
have
were
a
here when we
9-year. So
opened it.
Yeah, I was there when you opened it. It's
Yeah,
a
you
really
know,
good
it
pour.
is fantastic.
It
Yeah,
is fantastic. Yeah.
John.
So now,
you know what? It was.
oh, he's got the 13.
No, he says it's one of his
Wow.
dream bottles.
Oh,
Yeah, and you know what? It was one of
okay.
mine too. Last year, one of our early videos, Devin and I did, we actually named like these are the bottles that we want to get in 2024, and one of mine was a VVS. And by the time the end of the year had rolled around, I had named I had got the other three that I had wanted, and this is the one that had eluded me. And then for Christmas, my wife gave it to me as a gift. I didn't know she had went out and got it, so
Gotcha.
it completed my 4 that I wanted, and it's pretty special, and it is fantastic.
That's fabulous. All
What do you
right,
think,
so
Devin?
yeah,
Tea good.
Yep, it is pretty good. That's for sure.
no doubt. No doubt. I see David saying this is his nemesis, never been able to own one. David, I hear you on this. So I had to struggle. I never had Old Fitz for the longest time, but it wasn't until I did a trip 2 years ago out to California. And when I was out in Pebble Beach, that I actually found Old Fitzgerald's 17-year sitting on the shelf. Now, California has crazy prices because they were asking a grand for the whole thing. I had a little too much that night, but I was talking up a storm with the guy who was running the store and was able to do a package deal for not only getting the Old Fitz 17, but also a barrel. Um, I think it's a gray label bourbon, and package a decent price on that as well. So that was my first ever Old Fitz. Now the others come. I kind of do it differently than others do. So I'm not doing much in the trading approach. I'm playing into what's known as red ball or duck races, and without and being careful on how I play the game. Occasionally, I'm able to pick one up here and there.
Yeah, my first one, the first Old Fitz I had was a 10-year that we got when they did that special drop 2 Christmases ago in Ohio. We managed to get one. And then Renee won the lottery this past winter lottery. She wanted this 2024's Old Fitz. So we got 10 years. We got 2023 and 2024 10-year. And she got the VVS. And also when the 8-year dropped in Ohio, we got one. So we managed to grab them when they've dropped in Ohio.
Now the 8-year I actually picked up in Kentucky. So I was down for a barrel pick at Pursuit United and was with one of the guys who was with me on the barrel pick. He stopped over at Heaven Hill and they had Old Fitz that they were giving out. He picked it up, but he thought he was going to get the 13-year. He bought it without checking the details, and then he got back to the car, pulled it out of the bag, and realized it was an 8-year, and he didn't want it. So he gave it to me. So he gave it to me at at the price he paid
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
MSRP, so you can't
Right.
complain about that.
No, so I said, hey, I'll take it. No problem.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of Old Fits. I always find a really nice raspberry note on them that I really enjoy. Now, the 13, this one's a little bit different. This one reminds me more of that 7-year Stitzel Weller from 1970 that we opened.
Okay.
It's got a little bit, it's got a different
Yeah.
than the other Old Fits. This one is just amazing for sure. So we're getting about on that time, guys, but I just want to say next week I'm having some guests on. I'm going to be having the people from Bonding with Bourbon, the husband and wife team. They're going to be joining me. And then the week after that, I'm having that bourbon dude. So Chris,
competition.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to have some special guests over the next couple of weeks from other channels on. We will be talking more about the barrel pick, and I will be making a video about the barrel pick to put out on the channel for people who didn't see it. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me through the Discord, the Patreon, our email, whatever you want. And I put up here the QR code to our store. If you do want to get a Glen with his logo, they're out on the store. So
grab them. That's going to be a hot item. Grab it.
Yeah, I only got a limited number for now. So once they sell out, I'll order some more, but I'm not going to order more until this first case sells. So, but thanks everybody for joining us tonight, and just keep an eye out for information as we put them out. And until next time, remember, the best bourbon or whiskey.
It's the one you like the most.
That's it.
From That Bourbon Guy.